had it on earlier. I just wanted to-
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I can't see from here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you talk, yeah.
You just push.
On the mic and then you could hear me.
No.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Honeychurch,
Here.
Trustee Cargo Reed,
Here.
Trustee Kara,
Here.
Trustee Nguyen Greer,
Here.
Trustee Thurston, Trustee Young, Trustee Voice,
Here.
Student Trustee Sharini Boston.
Right. I assume she'll be joining us
Yes.
at
After
7.
close.
Next item is item 4, approval of the agendas. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? So, there's a motion and a second from trustee Thurston, right? Second. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any comments from members of the public for closed session? I gather not. And so we'll move into closed session and reconvene the regular meeting at 7 o'clock. the microphone. Yes. Are there any comments from members of the public?
I don't have any.
All right. Next item is item 10 on the agenda, which is reports. And first of all, is the Associated Students of Solano College. Surya Servanson. Oh, we have another representative. Good, thank you.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello? Okay. Hi, good evening. I hope you all had enjoyed your holiday and Happy New Year. I'm up here to address a concern that many students have been reporting back to us at the ASSC, and it's been a growing concern since the upcoming administration change has been announced, and it is the school's designation as a sanctuary campus. And I was wondering what your thoughts are on the progress of that and what the school's decision may be in the future, and if the board would consider supporting our designation as a sanctuary campus.
Just point of clarification, we can't open discussion items on public comment, but it is gonna come to the board very shortly, and maybe the superintendent president can give us a date on when that conversation is coming to the board. It will be itemized very soon. Yeah.
There is, I'm gonna blank if it's Assembly Bill or Senate Bill 54, which passed in 2019, which I have shared with the board and also with our leadership team, and we are developing a policy for campus as allowing us to have jurisdiction as a sanctuary campus. The thing that needs to be clear is that there is law in California that allows us to protect our students. And being a sanctuary campus doesn't necessarily mean that we do not have to respond to law enforcement when they enter campus. It just means that we have protections in responding to immigration law enforcement when they enter campus and request information about our students.
Thank you. That's all.
Thank you
Next
for
up.
being concerned.
So the next report is presented by Joshua Scott, Academic Senate President.
Good evening. First off, I wanted to formally just on the behalf of the Senate and faculty welcome you, Trustee Nguyen Greer. I'm glad to have you on our board. Also, as a point, Jim DeClos, who you'll be seeing a bit later this evening, is our curriculum chair this semester, while Sarah Barsis is on sabbatical. A lot of you, I'm sure, know him quite well at this point, whether it's through biotech or his past roles as our curriculum chair or our our union SCFA president. So I'm really glad to have him on board. We, during our convocation and the day before, we had a Senate meeting where we really were talking about how to support each other, how to make sure we really are working on building strong community, and especially to work this intention of working much more closely with both ASSC, with the student government, as well as with fellow staff groups on campus, as we're really working in common cause in support of our students, and trying to really see how we can really do everything we can to make the campus community and for faculty a place where everyone really feels seen and supported, and where conflicts can be worked through in I think a really professional and positive way. Then during the second session, really building on what we just heard from student government, we met with administration to really talk about specifically in this moment we're in, how can we support students who are either undocumented or in mixed status families. Regardless of anyone's political position on the economy or other issues, I think we can really rally around this idea that we want to support our community and the people within it and do everything we can. And there's a lot of people on campus, understandably, and students, right, who are concerned about this. And a big thank you both to our Student Equity and Success Council, Com St. Germain, who really led a lot of this, to Superintendent President Butler, and to many other people on campus as well, who really brought a lot of focus to how can we do this and provide this care to our students. Christina Rodriguez, right, is doing a lot of work on behalf of our students in this capacity, was able to share a lot of resources that were available. We also have a document that's really going to be looking at resources and also school policy on these issues. Vice President Williams also shared some board policy and academic procedures that we are looking at and talking about, and that will be coming your way soon or later in time. As we're looking at this semester, we already have a pretty busy agenda over the next several months. Some of the items that we're planning to talk about and work on are continuing in our next meeting in 2.5 weeks to really look at guided pathways. This is something that we have been talking about for a very long time in this college and also statewide. And now especially trying to see like what is really the next step for us as a college, right? A lot of the statewide funding for guided pathways has sunset or is expiring in some capacity. But how do we really want to make sure from a student perspective there's a really clear process of taking courses that will move them towards their major, that whether they're online or in person or in the centers, that they can do that well. And I think there's a lot of goodwill and intention, but sometimes how we all work together inadvertently can slow things down or just make it a little less obvious than it should be. So it's something we're really wanting to work on. We're also going to be working with, I believe you know about our new our equity and success dean, Heather Watson-Perez. She was one of our English faculty, but she's now in a dean position, which is, I think, wonderful for the college, but a little sad for English. But she's going to be working along with VP Neely in the Senate. We're planning on working very closely together as we develop the next iteration of the Student Equity and Achievement SEA plan. The next 3-year plan has been going through, and so I've been already talking with her some, and we're going to be meeting several times over the next year together to focus on that. We're also going to be focusing on dual enrollment. I talked about this at some length with you all last semester. We currently have a task force of both faculty and administrators and deans who are working on this. We're going to be looking, also continuing our work in support as we're looking at strategic and integrated plans and the plan to try to really look forward to what a department chair pilot might look like. We're also going to be, as we have for the last several years, meeting once in Vacaville on March 10th and once in Vallejo on March 24th so that we can really focus on the needs of those centers specifically and those students. And thank you, and that concludes my update.
Thanks very much. Any questions for Dr. Scott? No. Thank you. Thanks for coming tonight. Next item is item 10C and D, which is this College Governance Council and the Superintendent's President's Report.
Thank you. The College Governance Committee has not met yet for the spring 2025 semester. We meet on Wednesday, January 22nd, and I'll report out in next meeting in February. The SP updates are regarding just highlights of convocation last Friday with Trustee Cargo Reed, Nguyen Greer, Thurston, Young, and Voice attending, with Dr. Marcelia Bouillier providing a compelling keynote address discussing what are HSIs, Hispanic Serving Institutions, and why they matter. We had a lively conversation after with a 1-hour workshop with Dr. Poirier after lunch, and we'll continue to work with our faculty, staff, and students as we move in the direction of seeking HSI designation. Also, our spring enrollments are looking positive. We have both high headcounts and FTES then in 2024, with head count at 8,782 compared to 8,498 this time last year, and FTES at 3,010 compared to 2,919 last year this time. We continue to target fraudulent enrollments to keep seats open for our students, and our team is working diligently to support our students. Lastly, as mentioned by both ASSC and Academic Senate, the college is working to ensure that we promote a safe campus for all of our students. As I have been communicating with the board, we will have board policy and administrative procedure that will move forward in the next coming weeks. and we look forward to ensuring our campus that we are supporting the legislation that allows us to be a sanctuary jurisdiction. And I think just to highlight, since ASSC brought it up, it isn't necessary to focus on the sanctuary campus piece because the state of California is a sanctuary jurisdiction. And we will ensure that we are following the law under the state of California to ensure that all of our students, no matter documentation or immigration status, that they are safe and able to continue to take classes. That is the end of my report.
All right, thanks. Any
President
questions?
Honeychurch, can I take just a brief moment of personal privilege to say something?
Sure.
It's kind of out of order, but I just wanted to apologize. You had a passionate request. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Sorry, it's a C-Rep. AJ. I just wanted to apologize. You had a passionate request, and I shut it down with board speak, and I didn't mean to do that. And so my apologies there. It just sort of by law, we have to agendize what we talk about and what we action so that we're not doing anything in secret. And so, but I'll request during items from the board that we add this as an information item for our next meeting, because we can have an information item before we vote on the policy. That would give us a chance to both get our questions answered and input into the policy, and then also give you all a chance as well to maybe organize some student voices to to influence that policy as well too. So I'll suggest that during our board leadership during items from the board. So thank you very much, AJ. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you, Trustee Voice. So we'll move on now to item 11, which is the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion. There's no discussion on these items prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or public request specific items to be discussed and/or removed. Time will be provided before the vote for clarification questions without removing an item from the consent agenda. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda from the trustees?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second that motion.
So thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There are no items removed, so we're on to item 13, which are action items, the first of which is Human Resources under Salabati. He'll be the presenter, and this is a new classified CSEA job description. So, Mr. Abate?
Thank you, President Honeychurch, members of the board. This is a job description that has been put forward by our Dean of Liberal Arts. This will help our 2D art program, including painting and some of our other 2D arts, get support to our students as they move through this program. It better defines the role of the art lab tech to allow specificity with somebody who has experience related to 2D art versus a general art lab tech, which may have some ceramics included and some of those other things in there. So we're presenting this tonight for board approval.
So there, any further questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, maybe you just explained it. Is this changing a current job description, or is this adding a new tech to the program, or is this just approving a description so if we choose what kind of art tech we want?
So it's kind of twofold. There is currently a vacancy in the department for an art lab tech. This is just, again, being more specific with the duties that this person would support the program, so.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the new classified job description?
I'll second the motion.
All right. It has been moved and seconded to approve item 13A, the new classified job description. Any questions, comments? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is item 13B, which is Finance and Administration. Vice President Wheat is the presenter, and this is a material order to Park Planet for building 200 shade structures and a sandbox.
Yes,
project.
thank you, President Honeychurch, members of the board. So we are asking the board's approval for this materials order for shade structures for our early learning center. This is for materials only, and then another company will actually be putting up the shade structures. We're using the money that we get from the state to provide extra support and abilities for our early learning center.
All right.
So we
So
ask
is
for
there
your
a
approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the material order?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve item 13B, the material order and sandbox project. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Vice President Weed. Next item is managed service agreement between Solano Community College and Triumph Protection Group to provide additional public safety support.
Yes, thank you again. We did an RFP for security services at our Auto Tech Center. This is for nights and weekends to provide extra security that we're not able to get through our Department of Public Safety. Again, they work those evening and nights and weekend hours. The RFP was put out. We did the notices and everything, and we got several proposals back. Triumph was the highest rated proposal based not only on cost, but on what they can do. If you remember, we had a temporary contract in place. They raised their rates quite a bit on this year. This contract actually reduces it by about $13 an hour. So we ask for your approval. And we, just so you know, we've worked with Triumph before. They do our security at our graduation to provide extra support for us. So we know that they're a good company as well.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve item C, the managed service agreement?
Okay, I move that we approve item 13C.
I second.
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Next item is item D, which is also a managed service agreement between the college and Modern Campus USA Incorporated to provide website support and maintenance.
Yes, thank you once again. I'm actually going to talk about both items D and E together because they do go together. We are looking to do a new website, and we're using a piggyback contract with Modern Campus to provide that. These two different managed services, one is for implementation and then one is for ongoing service after the fact. We are looking to have a much more robust website with more accessibility for our students and our community. The price difference between what we are currently paying and the new service is less than half of what we're currently paying, so it's going to be a big savings for the college, which will allow us to have more outreach programs available for our students. So we ask that you approve both items D and E.
All right, thank you. So is there a motion to approve D and E? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor of the motion to approve item D and E, which are both managed service agreements, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We're on to the bond issue. Vice President Lucky Lofton, who's here in person, is the presenter. It's an approval to reject all formal bids of Vallejo Auto Tech vehicle exhaust system dyno project. So, thank you.
Thank you, President
And I'm
Honeychurch.
sure there's a very good reason for this.
Yeah. This project is a small project, but it's very technical. So we are improving the exhaust system for the engines that are run on the dyno. And the designers who scoped that work just weren't specific enough. And that created some confusion among the bidders, gave us different levels of pricing. When we see that, we always go back to the bidders and we review the bid documents, we review what they believe they were bidding on, and we determine if the bidder understands the scope or if the scope is in some way confusing. This is the first time we've had to do this in all of the projects that we've done, but we've looked at the bid documents and realized that the technical nature of this system needs more refinement in the bid documents to have a fair bid for the bidders. So we ask that the board reject this bid. We will rebid the project with better improved documents and better information.
All right, with that explanation, is there a motion to approve the approval to reject all formal bids on this Dino project?
I'll make that motion to approve item 13F.
I second that motion.
So it's moved and seconded to reject the bids for the reasons stated by Lucky Lofton. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The next item is also yours, I believe. It's a change order to DMR Builders for Building 300 modernization.
Yes, thank you. As you can see in the list of 3 items that are covered by this change order, one of the most significant elements of this change order is that when we started this project and the designers were designing the project, everything, the information that we had about our fire alarm system included the idea that we would continue to use the fire alarm system that we have. After bidding the project, the contractor in making their procurement for the project discovered that this fire alarm system would not be supported in the future. That led us to be required to replace the fire alarm panel in 300. It also has led us to begin another project to replace all of the fire alarm panels on campus over several years, because we understand that these fire alarm panels won't be supported anymore by the company that builds them. In the world of technology, this happens, this obsolescence of technology, where companies move on, improve their product, stop supporting their old product. We've all seen this in computer systems and whatnot. That was probably the most significant element of this change order. We also experienced some damage to the ceiling and removing fume hoods, and moving some cabinets at the request of faculty were both minor issues, but we took care of them. So we're asking the board to approve this change order for this project.
This is a $21,000 figure, correct?
Correct.
All right. Is there a motion to approve change order number 2 for the Building 300 modernization project?
Happy to make that motion. For item 12G, or sorry, 13G.
Is there a second? Second. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's approved. Thank you. The next item is also, Mr. Lofton, it's a contract award to E.F. Brett Company for construction services for Building 1600.
Yes. We are pleased to bring these qualified bidders and their bids to the board to approve the lowest bid so that we can get to work on remodeling Building 1600.
All right, sir. A motion to approve it?
Yeah, that's enough for me. I'll make a motion for item 13H.
Second.
All right, any questions, comments? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve this contract award. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is item I, which is a ratification of purchase order to KI for FF&E, whatever that may mean, for Building 300 modernization project.
Yeah.
You know, I hate acronyms.
Yes, I know. We love our acronyms: fixtures, furniture, and equipment. This particular purchase is to provide adjunct faculty new furniture in a newly remodeled space. If you'll recall, when we had the old library, there was an adjunct office space in the old library that we did not include in the new library. There's some technical reasons for that. So in remodeling Building 300, we took one of the classrooms there and turned it into the new adjunct office space. Dr. Williams has been kind enough to work with us and with the faculty in selecting furniture and stations, and John Cornelison is working with us in terms of providing technology. We're asking the board to approve this furniture, which we authorized to move forward so that the adjunct faculty would have their office space at the beginning of the semester.
All right, other questions, comments? If not, is there a motion to approve the purchase order for the 300 modernization project?
I move that we approve item 13I.
I second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve item I, the ratification of the purchase order. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks to Vice President Lofton. So next item is under the title of Academic Affairs and is presented by Vice President David Williams, and it's a request for approval of curriculum items as submitted by the Curriculum Committee.
Thank you, President Honeychurch, members of the board. As Academic Senate President Josh Scott mentioned earlier in the meeting, Jim DeClos has graciously resurrected and returned to the Curriculum Committee. We're happy to have him, and as one of his first tasks, he's going to update you on some our curriculum actions.
Thank you very much. This particular collection of curricula. Thank you very much. I'm here to formally present to you on behalf of the Curriculum Committee and on behalf of the Academic Senate the formal changes in curriculum for your approval. In this batch of curriculum, and let me remind you of the process, faculty will go and online propose a change. That change then is reviewed by staff. That change then goes to technical review, where a group of the Curriculum Committee will look at dot the I's and cross the T's, and then it goes to the full Curriculum Committee to argue over if there is a change. This particular group of curriculum is relatively routine. Every department is required periodically to go through their entire catalog, all of their course offerings, and look at the changes and review them and update them if required. And so that is mainly what this is. We have 2 new courses, Ethics and Moral Reasoning in Criminal Justice and Introduction to African American Studies. We have a few course inactivations, but the rest is done under the curriculum review process. So I submit these to you for your approval. Yes.
May I please ask a question?
Oh, for sure.
For Ethnic 003, Introduction to Asian Pacific American Studies, course modification, could you please share a little bit more on that?
Let me defer to David on that.
Yeah, Jim is in an interesting position because he was not a part of any of these discussions. He's just taking over from the work that we did in the fall. But yes, this is a course that meets the Area F General Education requirement of ethnic studies that was passed by the state a few years ago. These have to be articulated with the CSUs and the UCs, and so there were just some modifications made to make it articulate to the four-year institution. So we are required to meet, their interests as well as our interests, and it's a collaborative process. And so that's what happened with this course.
Thank you very much, VP Williams, for that explanation.
All right, thank you. Got another question? Go ahead.
It's okay. I'm okay with that. Course offerings in Vallejo. How are we doing? What are we doing? Help.
Well, I'll tell you that as of this week, we are launching biotechnology in Vallejo, and we have a major effort there at the end of April. We are going to have a biotech festival hosted. We are hosting it at our Vallejo campus, and we're inviting all of the high school students in the city of Vallejo. And I've been told we're trying to get LaRussell as a speaker.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Well, as it turns out, he's one of the hottest rap artist in the United States, and he calls Vallejo home, and he believes in the community, and we have a contact there, and it looks like he's going to do it.
Oh,
So
wow.
the idea is to make biotechnology hip.
Wow.
So anyway,
Nice.
let me also say that we have several new staff members in Vallejo, and that my view there, and I taught in Vallejo, I taught at the Vallejo Center for years. My view there is that it is undergoing a re-energizing and a reinvigoration. So I have high hopes for Vallejo. I share with you the passion to make sure that our community there is served by the Solano College.
Thank you very much, everybody.
And members of the board, I want to clarify, the curriculum committee doesn't involve itself with where or how the classes are offered. This is the base, the curriculum that the faculty follow, and as Jim said, they update it regularly to make sure it meets industry standards and currency. But these courses then is the purview of the faculty and the deans and how we schedule. We have met already this year our requirement for FTE at both of the centers, and we now have a full outreach team that's been hired, and one of their main focal points is City of Vallejo, so we can make sure that we provide as much information and access to our students in Vallejo as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was so excited to share that I had to, I
very
took
You
off
should've
my
started
curriculum
that
chair.
first.
I took off my curriculum chair hat and, sorry,
Yeah.
but no, anyway, it's a major priority of the faculty.
Thank you.
That sounds very good. I think all of us welcome that news. All right, so is there a motion to approve the request for approval of curriculum items as submitted by the curriculum committee? Is there a second?
I second that motion.
So it's been moved and seconded to approve item J, which is academic affairs request for curriculum approval. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thanks, Dr. DeClo. Next item is item K, which is an agreement with Nurse Tim Consultation Team at Walters Kluwer. So David, Vice President Williams, you're presenting this.
That's fine. Thank you, President Honeychurch, and members of the board. I was going to call you Dennis, but I want to be respectful. And members of the board. Our nursing program is already accredited by the Board of Registered Nursing, the BRN, in California. What we're requesting now is assistance from a consultant, very qualified consultant, to help the nursing department achieve ACEN status, which is a national accreditation for nursing that will attest to the quality of the program. This will ensure that our students who graduate from our program, when they go to other states to try to get jobs, the ACEN certification validates the quality of our training and makes their employment in other states seamless. So we're asking for your approval of this contract to get us started on this accreditation process.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second that motion. I think
Thank-
it's fabulous in terms of what
thank-
we're doing, VP.
Thank you. It sounds important. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is Technology Services, presented by Vice President John Corneliuson.
Thank you,
So-
President Honeychurch, members of the board. We're asking approval of this contract with the Forelli Group to conduct a comprehensive technical audit of our Banner ERP environment. This audit will include all servers, the services running on each server, and the profile of each server, as well as our overall Banner database footprint, and also audit and inventory all the different applications that we need to prepare to enable single sign-on when we move forward with multi-factor authentication later this semester and over the summer. So this is all ongoing security improvements that we are moving forward with. We have a grant from the state to pay for this work, and I'm asking for approval. So.
Thank you. And this is a $64,000 item.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so, but it's a grant paid for by the state. So would one of our trustees make a motion to approve it? Oh,
Well, actually, I have a question, if maybe you could elaborate how important this is? Oh, sorry. Maybe you could elaborate a little bit, just a little bit, why it's so important.
Critical, and here's why. So we need
Thank
to prioritize what servers we need to upgrade and patch, not only for vendor compliance with Ellucian, but also just to be within security best practices. There are many, many, many servers that have sprawled over a decade and a half. We need to audit this so we can figure out what servers we can decommission and simply get rid of, and which ones we need to prioritize to upgrade and patch.
Thank you so much.
Sure thing.
I think that's why we brought you on board. So thank you very much for everything. Yeah.
We're getting there.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve item 13L. I'll make the motion.
Would you like to make a motion to
Yes.
approve it?
Yeah, sorry.
All right. A
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the statement of work with Pirelli as I'll stop there. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. So next item is item 14, which is information items, and Lucky Lofton's the presenter. So Measure Q, quarterly progress update report.
Thank you, President Honeychurch and members of the board. The quarterly report is available online, and I know that that report has been sent to the members of the board. Just a few highlights. It's almost a milestone at 74% of the $350 million bond has been expended. And we have built multiple buildings, remodeled buildings. We're working on infrastructure. We typically have around 30 active projects running year-round. As one project closes, more projects come online. So it's just, I'm excited to say that we're 74, almost 75% of the way through the bond. I can also say that later this year, we intend to go out for the final tranche of bond funds. So the bond is much closer to the end than it is to the beginning now. And I think at the board's approvals and direction, the bond has accomplished a great deal for the community and students of Solano County, and I couldn't be prouder of what's been accomplished.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments? All right, this is on for information only. There's no motion required. So thank you. Thank you for all your work all these years. Next item then is announcements. Are there any announcements from the board or staff or public? Sorry?
I have an announcement, President Honeychurch. The Solano County Board Association will have a dinner on Monday, January 27th, and would like to extend the invitation to all of our trustees and Superintendent President Butler. I believe Superintendent Butler will be attending along with Trustee Cargo, Reed, and myself. So if you would like to attend, please let me know so I can RSVP on your behalf.
And where is that going to be held?
It's going to be in Vacaville at the Vacaville Unified School District, sir.
Tiffany also included a checklist to impress you.
Thanks for that. Any other announcements? Yes? Oh, sorry. I have trouble looking right.
No, you're all right. So, hey everybody, Happy New Year's. First board meeting back. I also want to say that it's Board Appreciation Month. I didn't even know that existed till this month and today. So I just wanted to give a huge appreciation to all the board members on the board. This is my second term as student trustee, and I just admire all of you and admire all your hard work. So it's really important that we do appreciate all of you. So thank you for doing the work that you do. The next thing I also wanted to do was obviously uplift and highlight the words that ASSC had brought to the board. I think it's really important and very timely of us to take care of that. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that come to the board very, very soon. Another thing that I also wanted to mention, that this is my last semester as student trustee. I term out. I cannot rerun for student trustee again. You get 2 years. And so I am looking forward to making this last semester a very strong semester as student trustee. And if there's anything that you would like to bring to the student body that you would like to work with me on, including the 5-year DEIA-B plan that I've been working on, please do come up to me and ask me, because I'm more than willing to work with every single one of you, audience and VPs included. And so that's another thing I wanted to mention Another thing is that the Reproductive Health Center will be having hours that will be posted very, very soon, starting next week. And so I do ask of you to share it with the community members and other students that you come into contact with. And then finally, a project that I have been working on with the White House Youth Policy Summit, provided with $16,000, was to do a needs assessment for youth grants, because currently a lot of federal agencies do not provide resources to youth to get youth grants from the federal agencies. And so that will be posted also on the Repro Health Center page and also in our online on our social media page. So I ask that you provide it to ages of 14 to 24 for them to do it for a $25 reimbursement so that we can hear from our fellow youth. So those are a lot of things, and if you need any clarification, please do come up to me. But like I said, very excited to see what this semester brings.
All right, thanks very much for the appreciation and your report. I think you're a treasure on the board, frankly, so you're welcome to be here. So now we are on to items from the board. Are there any items?
I do have an item. Well, it's a surprise. No. As mentioned, I would like to ask the board leadership to consider agendizing an informational item for SB 54 and the larger conversation, so we can facilitate our interest and hear from the community as an information item before we see a policy come to us. And thank you again, AJ, for calling us to the carpet and lighting some fire. Like that, we need to be reminded of the urgency of things often. So thank you.
All right, so I think that's a good suggestion. Does anyone disagree? So we'll put it on the agenda. Thank you. Any other items from the board? No? All right. So the next item is item 20, which is an adjournment item. I'm looking at you.
January 15, 2025 board meeting.
Is there a second? So it's moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
But turn that off.